Yahawah, Alahaginawa, Yahawah, Achad, Shema, Yashra'Allah, Yahawah, Alahaginawa, Yahawah, Achad, Shema, Yashra'Allah, Yahawah, Alahaginawa, Yahawah, Achad, Brakata Yahawah, Brakata Yahawah Brakata Yahawah, Brakata Yahawah Brakata Yahawah, Brakata Yahawah Bahasur Hakodash. I want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone as well as peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. I'm Zahab, spirit winning lawyer, and today I want to go into a topic entitled The Israel of Yahawah versus the Israel of Satan. And what you're seeing is basically a great gulf being created, all right, between the 1/3 and the 2/3, also called the Israel of Yahawah and the Israel of Satan. And I got this idea from watching the elder apostles and elder bishops live stream, Bishop Sakaran and Elder Pascal Bar. You know, they always go live on Tuesdays. I believe they're going live now. But they mentioned, they said there's an Israel of the Most High and there's the Israel of Satan. And that includes you Israelites that claim to be Israelites, that teach your Israelites, but you've tainted the doctrine. You know, you did not continue in the things that you were taught. All right. You taught that there's a such thing as hell. All right. You taught that the charagma is not the RFID. Shalom, shalom, Yahawah Bashim Shai, Bahashim Hakodash Brakatah. You taught that the charagma was not the RFID. You taught that depending on the kelp, you're teaching with fucking fitted kelps and shit. You can't let go of Grecian culture. You can't let go of that Greek culture. I was just watching one of my movies, Alexander Revisited. Now, historically, it's one of my go-to movies, but this nigga was a fucking freak, you know. But this is the progenitor of the Hellenistic culture, man, and they was pushing freedom during the time of Alexander. When they took over the Persians, Alexander was like, they all deserve to be free. They all deserve to be taught the Grecian way. And they had the music playing in the background. And these were Elamites, so-called East Indians, who had previously been conquered. And the subjects was like, nigga, these are slaves. You know, Alexander's general was like, nigga, these slaves, man. You marrying the concubine and shit. Like, and he was pushing the idea, like, no, they can all be basically taught in the way of Greece. And he was beloved of these people. Don't you understand that's the beginning of Satanism in the fucking planet? That's the beginning of promoting the westernized way. Don't you know the Alexander the Freak was more to them T-boys? Don't you understand that freedom was just another way of saying rebellion, man? There's another way of being rebellious. Now, granted, these were all heathen anyway, that he was acculturating into his way. But it was more wickedness. When it tells you in Maccabees, when those generals under Alexander got into power, wickedness spread throughout the earth, man. But it's so hard for a lot of you Israelite teachers to fathom this shit, because you was born and raised in a Grecian way. And so was I. But the difference between you and I is that I have been baptized. Started through the period of the spirit and power of Yahawah Bashim Shai through the elders apostles of Great Millstone, man. The Israel of Yahawah have been baptized back into the Father, man. We've been adopted back into the fold, man. You see? We've been adopted back into the fold, man. You see? But you niggas, you can't let go of that wicked root, man. You can't let go of that Grecian way, man. The Macedonian way. Hey, Shalom, Akia, Yahawah, Bashmel Shai, Bahashon Hakodash Brakatah. All right, you can't let go of that Grecian way, man. Feed the caps when you teaching. All right, everything is an Israelite party. All right, don't you understand? That's what 2/3 does. Everywhere 2/3 go, it becomes a high school pep rally. It becomes the high school hallway. Everywhere Jake goes, whether it's at work, they turn the job to the club. They got music playing and shit. Oh, don't let it be an overnight shift. Man, there's whole relationships going on at work, man. Gossiping, fighting, just black culture. Everywhere Jake goes, he brings black culture with him. Then you so-called wake up to the fact that you're an Israelite, but you brought black culture right with you. You brought Greek culture right with you. You brought them lined up beards right with you. You brought passing wives through the congregation right with you, man. That's not the Israel of Yahawah. That's the Israel of Satan. Ultimately, the Israel of Edom, man. You are of your father, the devil. Don't you understand? When Cain unalived Abel, all right, Cain had a seed, and that seed proliferated, all right, during the pre-flood era, and that ideology had permeated the planet Earth. The Cain way. Then it reincarnated. Look at that. Y'all heard that? That horn, man? The Cain way, man. The doest thou wilt way. The serve my flesh way. Hey, Shalom Zaquan, Malak, Yahawah Bahashim Al-Shai, Bahashim Rachakudash Brakatah. All right, don't you understand? That way remanifested when Esau came back in power, all right, through Philip of Macedon, all right, leading to his son Alexander, the freak. It remanifested through the Grecian way, man. Then it spread like a green bay tree when the Romans came back into power, man. When the Romans came into power. But these are all rooted back into Cain. But how are you the son of Abel? You profess to be the son of Abel, which would ultimately be the son of which would ultimately produce Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And under Jacob, the 12 patriarchs. But you're so infatuated with the Edom way, man. And Edom, the theme of Edom is do as thou wilt. Also known as live after the flesh. Fuck it, live after the flesh. The other theme of Edom, fuck it, YOLO. That's the theme of Edom. You niggas on a mini boat. Was that in South Carolina, North Carolina? And the boat got shot up. But you grown ass niggas was on a boat packed like sardines, man. Music all loud. I wouldn't feel comfortable being around that many colors, man. I'm being facetious. But when you see a pack of Jakes together, man, it's like, man, I don't want to be amongst that. You know what I mean? But the spirit of vengeance is after the Israel of Satan, man. In this country, in this planet, the spirit of vengeance is after anybody that got the spirit of Satan in them, man. That's why Eve is getting it, man. Eve is getting it. Because she got the spirit of Satan in her, man. And Most High is sending spirits of vengeance on her, man. Don't you understand that Trump is the spirit of vengeance on the Israel of Satan? He's that sword that Yahawah Bahashim Yahushai is sharpening against the Israel of Satan, man. Cutting Section 8, that's a sword. Cutting food stamps, that's a fucking sword. Cutting Medicare, that's a fucking sword, man. You're cutting off the food supply. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Let me repeat that. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him. Cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Trump is a fucking sword. It's a sharpening sword against the 2/3 of the nation of Israel, man. Jacob is about to be bathed in blood, man. The ultimate sword is what? That missile. Before that final sword, which does which is going to manifest that final sweep, that besom of destruction. All right, hey, the sword is going to come through cutting off things, man, just choking your ass out. But you should have never built the nation off of fucking food stamps anyway, man. Built the fucking family off of Section 8, man. The scripture says, basically not to depend on the oppressor, man. Now, granted, according to prophecy, it says we should be nourished for a time, times and half a time, and part of that is the food stamp program, man. But you're not supposed to depend on one who oppresses you, man. All right? What's that scripture? It slips my mind, you know? That's why it says it's better to be in a mean cottage than in a house that belongs to somebody else. Because it goes on to say, roughly paraphrasing, that he'll tell you, move out the way, make room for I have guests. Now, what's going on in America? Trump has been kicking Northern Kingdom out of America, so-called Hispanics out of America, and sending them who knows where, but inviting Edomites from South Africa to America. It's not that, is not, that's what the scripture's saying? Better to be in a mean cottage than to live, you know, in someone else's house, because they're going to tell you, make room for I have guests. Who are the guests? The Edomites from South Africa, man. You see? So you 12 tribes who your oppressor calls you immigrants and Negroes and Hispanics and all those different things. All right, you are a stranger in this man's house, even if it was your house first. All right, but when his equal needs help, all right, he tells you to move the fuck out the way. Now, granted, he's gonna tell you to move the fuck out the way anyway, because Amalek, who he really gets his orders from, all right, he wants us off the earth anyway. You know, he wants the nation of Israel obsolete. But on the flip side, a man's goings of Yahawah, the Most High wants 2/3 obsolete, man. He's going to use his sword, Big Trump, all right, to get rid of the Israel of Satan, the Israel of Greece, the Israel of Rome, man. Don't you understand? The Most High seed got scattered across the world and was influenced throughout these different captivities. But that most prominent influence was that Grecian influence, man. Which has a lot of components in black culture. Black culture has a lot of Grecian influence. Black culture loves that Grecian way. Hence college campus. All right, going Greek. Hence fraternities and sororities, man. And the things they do on fucking college campuses, man. It's all debauchery, man. Jake loves that Grecian way. Being up all night, going to rites of Bacchus, going to temples of Bacchus, which would be the club. Coming home drunk. All right, full of adultery, man. Don't you understand? That's what got us here in the first place, man. You got a bald head and a lined up beard. Shiny bald head. And the scripture says you are wise to do evil. Man, you got a whole little science to sleeping with somebody else's wife, man. And that wife, she got a whole little craft to a whole little science of backdooring her husband. Eve is dark, man. You know? And niggas are dark, man. Because you're the Israel of Satan, man. Yeah, your genealogy goes back to Jacob, but your spirit goes back to Satan, man. Your intention, your culture, you're clothed in Satanism, man. With Satanism is simply do as thou wilt ism. Go after the flesh ism, man. And now your actions have culminated into this point. So now the Most High is drawing out a narrative, which is really he's sharpening a sword. And it's all starting with narratives such as black fatigue, scientific racism, narratives being bruised to justify an attack towards you, man. All right, Esau's laboratory has manufactured YNs and 304s, out of our nation. And the world is tired of it, man. Esau, Esau has generated a monster that everybody hates. Loud, ratchet, loudmouth black women, loudmouth so-called black women, loud, ratchet so-called black women, and dangerous ass, impulsive YNs is a nuisance to everybody, including Jake, man. Niggas make us turn to Karens. Oh, here come the niggas. Oh shit. And here I am, this complexion, and I look at my own people like, oh shit, I hope they're not moving here. I hope they just helping them move in. I hope they're not moving in. You know? But Jake make you like that, man. Because even if you was born and raised in the hood, and I was in the hood, but this truth baptizes your ass, man. You know better, you do better. And for me and my own carnal thinking, man, when you get 18, 20, 21, it's like, nigga, get a fucking job, man. You're in your 20s and you on some YN shit, you know? But Jake has a mindset that they could do as thou wilt, man. Now, certain Jakes are products of circumstance, but ultimately, it's whether the Most High marked you for life or death. If he marked you for life, you would eventually come out of that circumstance, man. We know there are Jakes just they're products of circumstance, man. But a man's going as a Yahawah B'Hashem Shai. And if the Most High wanted you in a ratchet environment, if he wants you in these fucked up situations, then that's just something that you was marked for. But if you are a man of Yahawah B'Hashem Shai, it tells you that he delivered the righteous out of that temptation, man. He delivered the godly out of temptation, man. GMS, Shammai, Yamyan, Isaiah 5:20. Woe to them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Because our people like the taste of darkness. They like their flesh culture. Because when flesh loves that instant gratification, they'll go their horn blowing. I don't know if you brothers could catch it through the phone, but I hear it clearly. Our people love that feeling of pleasing the flesh. They love pleasure. You know? And it's not that we don't have our pleasures, but their lifestyle is pleasure. And they have pleasure in wickedness. They love talking to another nigga girl, man. Another man's girl, another man's woman. They love death. You know? They love daydreaming about killing a nigga, man. They love scheming. They love liver cheese and sauce and lobster and cat. They love that taste. They love the taste of, the scripture says stolen waters are sweet. They love the thrill of talking to somebody else's girl, man. All right? Eve loved her degenerate, man. You see? She loves her degenerate, man. All right, but this is the Israel of Satan, man. And the more you're in this truth, and the more you separate yourself from these people, all right, the more you feel that distinction, like, I don't want to be around these people, man. You know? I personally don't like large crowds, but especially a large crowd of Jake, man. I mean, I don't want to be around a large crowd of Edom either, but Jake, man, Jake love that death, man. All right, Jake loves death. This is from Yahawah, Psalm 82:5. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. All right, but nonetheless, a sword is being bathed for the 2/3 of our people, and there's about to be a washing and a cleansing of the nation of Israel, because the Most High is about to rid the nation of its dross. And this dross is the 2/3 of our people, which is coined by the apostles, the Israel of Satan. All right, but with that, I do hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, I want to give our honor and glory to Yahawah B'Hashem Yahawashi, B'Hashem HaKodash. I also want to give double honors to our elder apostles, elder bishops of Great Millstone Ruel, as well as peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. Abba Bao, Yahawah, Shalom. Hey, this is from Jim Shema Yamyan, Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, because sentence against the evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. But with that, to the next time, Shalom.